Be reminded, they are still under oath, Brigadier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, my lord.
Thanks. Yes, Mr. Ramosepele.
Now, Brigadier, you're saying that you confront accused. Sorry.
Speak to them about this thing. Can you speak to them about this thing? Sure. No, sorry, my lord. I just asked actually if you can just ask them to lower this thing. He says they say they can't.
Yeah, I say it's centrally operated. I don't know.
Yeah, but today.
You want them to switch it off or what?
Today,
maybe just
last night, but even physically myself, I'm suffering because I'm directly under this vent.
Okay.
He's pushing.
Yeah, if you can lower it or I don't know.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So, Brigadier, you said on the 18th of June 2020, you then confront accused number 2 with the ID kit that we have spoken about. And in response there to say to him, this person bears your resemblance. He says to you, this is a case of mistaken identity. I've got nothing to do with the offense that occurred. Is that the answer that you gave, you got from him?
Not verbatim, but the essence of it, he was saying it's not him, my lord. That was the essence of the response.
Manje ke Brigadier nge-18 kaJune 2020 ukhuluma naye ngomsolo wesibili uthi kuyena ke lo muntu lana ke uyafana ke nawe uthi ke yena ke cha akusiyena wenziwe iphutha akanalutho lokwenza nesigameko hayi ngalawo magama kodwa nje wathi yena cha akusiyena lo.
Now, just to clarify the point that I think Advocate Baloyi objected on, and that I said to the court that I understand that if I elicit a statement of a witness myself that he authored and commissioned, it is acceptable. But the difference I was trying to make at the time was that the description of suspect B, what warrant officer Steenkamp says he got that description from, it's from Makaleni. So I'm not actually reading Makaleni's statement. I'm reading the description as provided to warrant officer Steenkamp. So it's a separate issue from the A90 something that was deposed to by Makaleni.
Yes, it is separate, my lord, but you can't deal with warrant officer Steenkamp's statement in isolation of the people she was interviewing. Yes. Because she tells you, she basically interviewed everyone who was in the house, and she's telling you what they are saying, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke noma ke ngiyakuzwa ke uma uthi ke ufunda lokho kwabhalwa uyena uSteenkamp ekutshela uyena ke uMakeleni kodwa ke awukwazi usifunda sisodwa ke statement sakhe uSteenkamp ngoba ke usho ke lokho athi wakutshelwa ke abantu futhi nama interview nalabantu ababesendlini.
Except of course that Makaleni was not present in the house on the 26th of October 2014.
Yes, he wasn't, my lord, but his statement is very clear, even on that interview, that he saw the person he was describing at the gas station outside at the mini power station, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi uMakeleni yebo wayengekho ke phakathi endlini kodwa uyakusho ke lokho ukuthi ke lo muntu ke ayemchaza ke wambona ke ngaphandle ke kule ndawo ke yawo ke ugesi engaphandle endlini.
And I'm going to go back to Exhibit J, page 5 thereof, and specifically deal with that aspect of the witness, the fifth witness that was interviewed by Ms. Steenkamp during the compilation of the identity kit. And I'm going to read again. It says, the fifth witness, Mr. T. Makaleni, residing at Mzamo section 3942, compiled the face of suspect B. He saw 3 unknown males in the vicinity of the gas station, busy on the cell phones. He saw them again at Kelly's mom's house. Suspect B stood at the gate. he gave the following description: African male, 25 years, 1.80 meter tall, slender build, medium brown complexion, clothing a black hooded top. Witness saw a golden insert in upper teeth. Hairstyle is dreadlocks. Facial hair is mustache and beard. And then witness saw something in his hand that could have been a firearm. Witness could not describe the rest of the faces.
Yes, my lord.
Lana ke kufundeka ngalendlela kwi statement esakhe ke Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp ukuthi ke owesihlanu ufakazi uMr T Makeleni ohlala ke eNomzamo e3942 wachaza ke umsolwa B ukuthi ke wabona ke abalisa abathathu angabazi la kune ndawo ka gas noma phecelezi ke i-gas station bebhizi ke komakhala ekhukhwini babo waphinda wababona futhi ke endlini kaMakakheli ususpect B wayimi ke egateini wamchaza ngalendlela ukuthi umuntu wesilisa omnyama oneminyaka u25 1.80 meter ubamude ke enomzimba omncane futhi ke medium brown la i-complexion yakhe noma ke indlela akabukeka ngayo awayegqokile ihoodie eyayimnyama ngombala wabona futhi ke ukuthi izinyoke la ngaphezulu wayenegolide i-hairstyle wamchaza ke ama dreadlocks wachaza imustache futhi ke wabona ke khona ke lokho akubona ke esandleni okwabukeka ngathi kuyisibhamu.
Now this paragraph and description ties in with what I asked you earlier when we were looking at Exhibit BB, the person or the sketch on the left with a hoodie, and I asked you to point at the left and the right side of the face to ask whether that was also the insertion of dreadlocks on that sketch ID kit. Remember?
I do remember, my lord.
Lokhu ke manje ubhalwe lana ke kuyahambisana ke naloko bengikutshengisa kona ke lana kulo lesithombe ebesiveziwe ke khona la ngitshengisa emaceleni ke ngithi lokho kubukeka engathi ama dreadlocks. Yebo ngiyakhumbula.
Now regarding and take this fact, Makaleni is the only person that gave the description of suspect B or the second so-called intruder, right? At warrant officer Steenkamp's ID kit compilation. I'm not speaking about any other statement. I mean, when this ID kit was compiled, Makaleni is the only person that gave the description of suspect B.
My lord, if I can just have a second, I just want to check something, a second or two.
I can quickly assist you. The first witness is Ms. Kelly Kumalo. If you look at the last two sentences, she says Ms. Steenkamp, Kelly Kumalo could not describe the second suspect. Do you see that?
Yes, I do see that, my lord. That's exactly where I wanted to go in terms of describing or could not give the profile. But as I said, you take this in relation to the statements as well, because in the statements, as much as they are not giving marks in terms of the ID kit that was compiled by warrant officers from Steenkamp, but they do indicate more or less how the second intruder was. But insofar as the compilation by warrant officers Steenkamp, yes, we're in agreement. They didn't say it. But insofar as their statements are concerned, they do give an indication as to how the second suspect was looking like and what he may be carrying around.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi la masibheka ke ufakazi wokuqala uSteenkamp akhuluma ngayo uyabhalile ke la uKelly ke akakwazanga ukuthi kamchazeke owesibili umsolwa kuyiqiniso lokho kodwa ke ukuthi uma ubheka ama statements abo ke yila kunala abashoyo ke khona ke futhi bamchaza khona ke ukuthi umsolwa wesibili waye kanjani nokuthi wayephetheni ke kodwa lana kwi statement esika Steenkamp abamchazi.
And the end of each sentence, my lord, by warrant officer Steenkamp, just to be more precise. For example, with the second person, or maybe let's start with Kelly. She ends by saying she could compile the fake. Okay, no, let me leave. It's not a question. The second one, my lord, by Zandi, she says she could not describe the second suspect.
Okay.
And then the other one, which is Tumelo Madala, the last sentence, he could not compile the second suspect.
Okay.
Now, the third one by Mr. Twala says he could not describe the second suspect. And then Makaleni obviously then does, my lord. So that's what is contained. But the essence, there was a suspect, a second suspect. But she as an expert, she was looking for marks that she could get from them in order to compile an identikit. So she's saying they could not, that's my understanding of it, they could not give her tools or information that will allow it to compile, not the non-existence of the second suspect. That's why the referral is very clear that they could not give information insofar as the second suspect. So there was a second suspect and she wanted to get the features of the second suspect. The only person who could do that, I think accurately for her, was Mr. Makaleni, my lord.
Uma ubuka ke lana kuzo zonke ke lezitatimende ke zabo ukuthi ke uKelly akamchazanga uZandileke naye akamchazanga lo wesibili umsolo uTumelo uThwala umuntu ke ekuphela kwakhe ke noma ke okuyena ke owamchaza ke uyena ke Mr. T Makeleni lana ke okukhulunywa yiloko ukuthi yebo wayekhona ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi njena abamnikanga ke lokho abayekufuna ke noma okwanele ukuthi ke adwebeke asho ukuthi lo muntu lona wayebukeka kanjani.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the importance of this, and I'm going to emphasize, for the purposes of compilation of the ID kit, which is meant to assist the investigation with regard to putting out there in the public an image or a sketch of the potential people that entered into the house on the 26th of October 2014. The people that were in the house could not identify unique features to Ms. Steenkamp so that she can compile also the sketch of the second suspect.
Well, according to Mrs. Warrant Officer Steenkamp, that's what they say. But as I say, my lord, if you look at the statement disposed by them, they try to give features of how the second suspect was like. But insofar as Warrant Officer Steenkamp, yes, it is clear that she's saying they didn't give the description marks.
Yebo ngokwakhe ke noma ngokusho kwakhe ke Warrant Officer Steenkamp ukuthi ke abamnikanga ke lawo marks kodwa mubheka istatement zabo kunalaba shoyo ke khona ukuthi wayebukeka kanjani.
But importantly, Makaleni adds two features that the people in the house never referred to. The first one being a golden insert on the tooth and the dreadlocks hairstyle for the second suspect.
Yes, I saw that, my lord.
Kodwa ke manje uMakeleni usefaka ke manje ke okubili ke ongashiwongo yilabo ababesendlini izinyo ke legolide emlonyeni kanye futhi ke nama dreadlocks yebo ngikubonile lokho.
And as a passerby, Makaleni manages to see a golden insert from suspect B when he's outside of the house.
That's what is contained in his statement, my lord. Yes.
And then, as a result, you, as the lead IO, when I say you, I mean as the lead IO, you follow up on the descriptor that is given by Makaleni. Is that correct?
No, I followed on the resemblance. That is why,
Yes.
my lord, I said when I confronted accused 2, I said the identikit that I see, in my view, that person looks like him. So it wasn't insofar as following what Mr. Makaleni, it was based on my observation, my lord.
Mina ke ngangingalandeli ke manje lokho okushiwo noma okwakhulunywa uyena ke uMr. Makeleni kodwa ke ngathi mangibuka yona ke ID kit ingakho ke ngathi mangiya kuyena umsolo wesibili ngathi ke umuntu lo yana ke odotshwe lapha yana ke ufana nawe hayi okwashiwo uMr. Makeleni
My lord, the court will also remember that there was a time when we dealt with a dental examination.
I'm coming to that, Brigadier. Let me
must I
lead you.
wait? Okay. all
Let
right.
me lead you,
All right.
Brigadier.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You had ample opportunity to be led by my learned colleague, Advocate Baloyi. At this stage, it cannot be that the tail is wagging the dog. The dog must wag the tail. So you take my lead.
No, I don't think that's accurate, my lord. We are here to assist the court.
No. Let me do my cross-examination. If I need you to elaborate on a point, because you go off a tangent, I forget what I was asking you, and you give so many explanations. Let us stick to my cross-examination. If you want to elaborate, ask me. The court has already said it's not going to block anyone from explaining to this court. But just ask me, because you tend to go off tangent, and I'm cross-examining. Some of the things escape me because of your lengthy explanations.
My lord, I'll try to follow what Mr. Ramosepele is saying, but the court needs to take note that what I was trying to elaborate on
That's what I
was
said.
emanating from the question that was asked to me about the description given by Mr. Makaleni, which Mr. Ramosepele indicated that I followed that to the T. So Mr. Makaleni, my lord, one of the things that he mentions there is that the second suspect has a gold teeth incision on the upper lip. So my response was it was not coming from anywhere. There's a description given which says the second person has a gold incision on the upper part of his teeth. So naturally I was going to the explanation of saying, what did I do to follow this explanation given by Mr. Makaleni? That was the question that was put to me, my lord. But I hear you.
Yes.
I'll try to be short where I can, but where I need to explain, my lord, Mr. Ramosepele must also bear with me, because I'll give answers insofar as the questions that are put to me, nothing more.
Ngiphendula-ke ngokwemibuzo-ke engiyibuzwayo-ke ngizozama-ke ukuthi ngemfushane, kodwa-ke uma kufanele ngichaze ngizochaza-ke, ngoba umbuzo-ke noma la ngichaza khona-ke mayelana-ke nezinyo-ke kumayelana nombuzo-ke obuziwe-ke kimina-ke ukuthi-ke okunye akubona uMr. Makaleni wabona ukuthi wakunezinyo legolide la ngaphezulu, ila esengiqala khona ukuthi ngichaze.
Perhaps
Yes, sir.
to contextualize this, accused number 2 instructs me, and he has already told this court, he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 by both Sergeants Mohane and Mabena. You are aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware, my lord.
Umsholo wesibili uyangitshela-ke ukuthi uma eboshwa-ke waboshwa-ke ngazo i-16 zika-June, eboshwa uyena 2020 uyena uMohane noMabena. Yebo, ngiyakwazi lokho.
And my lord, sorry, when I say I'm aware, I'm referring to the arrest insofar as the Nongoma case, not for this matter, just to be clear that our understanding is not misunderstood.
Futhi uma ngithi-ke ngiyazi-ke ngisho noma ngikhuluma ukuthi-ke ngiyazi ukuthi-ke uma eboshelwa icala labanongoma engaboshelwa lona, ngifuna nje ukuthi lokho-ke kuqale.
And then on the 17th, he was taken to the Pretoria North South African Police Services on the 16th. And on the 17th of June 2020, accused number 2 is then booked out of from his cell by Sergeants Mohane Mabena. They take him to the boardroom and instruct me as follows as to what transpired in that boardroom. He is asked why he cut off his dreadlocks. He is asked about the presence or absence of the golden tooth that he had. He is further asked about tattoos that he had.
My lord, I was not there, so I think it will be difficult for me to respond to that.
I'm coming exactly to that.
Uthi manje-ke
Sorry, Mr. Jonas.
Sorry. Uma esethathwa-ke noma-ke ekhishwa ngazo i-17 zika-June 2020, wakhishwa-ke wasuka-ke kuyona i-boardroom, wabuzwa-ke ukuthi kungani-ke esewasusileke noma wakundileke ama-dreadlocks, kungani futhi-ke izinyo-ke leli legolide eselikhiphile. Ngangingekho-ke mina lapho, kuzoba nzima-ke ukuthi ngingaphendula ngalokho.
Now, accused instructs me the persons that were in that boardroom were the following. It was yourself, it was Sergeants Mabena and Mohane, it was Sergeant Mohola, and there was a gentleman who was wearing braces, the pants braces, and that on that day, over and above the 3 items that I've said he was questioned about, he was also made to take his tops off to look whether he's got tattoos. And you know who says that? He says the person that was doing that interrogation was. It was you.
No, but my lord, that's not true. And I think I dealt with this aspect during the trial within trial. That I did not see accused 2 on the 17th. The only time I came across him was on the 18th, when I interviewed him, and subsequently we followed the alibi that says he was at work. There is no way, my lord, I would have met him on the 16th and don't document my interaction, because the purpose of me meeting him was in relation to this matter, nothing more. So if I had met him, even if to even throw a wider blanket, my lord, even if I had an opportunity to meet him on the 16th, the first opportunity when I come across him, I would have asked him about this matter based on the evidence that I have. So there is no way I would have met him on the 17th, ask him about this matter, and not make a follow-up and don't document it. It's not true. That's why I indicated, my lord, what he told me, honest and openly, in terms of my interaction with him leading to the confessions.
Uyawabala-ke abantu athi babekhona-ke kuleyo boardroom leyo, uyakubala-ke nawe, uMukula, uSergeant Mukhane, kanye-ke noMabhena, nomunye-ke umlisa amshoyo-ke, nokuthi-ke wase etshelwa ukuthi akakhululeke la ngaphezulu noma-ke itop, kubhekwa-ke futhi ama-tattoo, nokuthi futhi umuntu oyenza lokho-ke kwakuwena. Akusilona-ke iqiniso lelo. Mina-ke uma ngihlangana naye ihlandla lokuqala kwakungazo i-18 zikaJune 2020, bangeke-ke kwenzeka ukuthi ngihlangane naye nge-16 noma nge-17 bese ngingabhali phansi-ke ukuhlangana kwami noma lokho engakhuluma naye, ngoba-ke mina-ke uma ngangizombuza ngalo leli cala leli ngibe sengibhala phansi.
Interestingly, I like your answer there. You said, had you met him on the 16th, the first opportunity that you were going to ask him was to ask him about 63610 of 2014. Why not ask him about 16310 2018, the Nawalba case? Because that was the case for which he was arrested, according to your testimony.
Yes, that's exactly what I said, my lord. But I think maybe Mr. Ramosepele, in fairness to him, he may have forgotten what I said last year when we started. I said, my lord, when the names of accused 1 and 2 were brought to our attention, cold case analysis was done. Subsequent to the cold case analysis, cases were identified that are clauses that are seemingly affecting accused 1, and cases linking allegations that these cases are linking accused 2. Those matters were assigned to Sergeant Mukhane to investigate. The bigger scope of case that I was looking at is this matter, 636. So I assigned unrelated matters to this matter to Sergeant Mukhane insofar as Mr. Ramosepele's client is concerned. My concern or interaction with accused 2 was this matter. So that is why I'm saying if I had come across him, be it the 16th, the 17th, any opportunity that I had, it would have been this matter, because that's the site, that was my interest, my lord. The cold case analysis was done based on this matter that is before court, insofar as accused 1 and 2 is concerned.
Ngiyathanda-ke uma usophendula kanjalo-ke, nanjengoba usho-ke ukuthi uma kuwukuthi wawuhlangene naye ngazo i-16 noma i-17, wawuzombuza-ke noma ithuba nje lokuqala utholayo wawuzombuza-ke ngalo icala leli u-636, okunganiki ukuthi ungambuzi ngalo icala leli labanongono ngoba yilona aliboshelwa. Mhlampe-ke uMr. Ramosepele ukhohliwe-ke, ngishilo-ke ngiyakondlule ukuthi-ke kwabhekwa-ke uma ebhekwa-ke noma-ke i-analysis yama-cold case yenziwa-ke, uSergeant Mukhane uyena-ke umuntu owayebhekene nalawo macala lawo engasilona-ke leli. Mina-ke icala engangilibhekile noma-ke engangikhuluma ngalo kwakuyilona leli u-636.
And my lord, I can just add, I know, I don't mean to take long, Mr. Ramosepele, sorry, but I think it's important for you to take note. This was not a unique thing that was done in accused number 2, my lord. When I met accused 1, because he's the first person that was arrested for the drug dealing case, when he was brought to me in Fosoras, I also didn't question him about the drug-related offenses. I jumped straight to this matter because that matter, insofar as the ones that were unrelated, Sergeant Mukhula was the IO. I went straight to this to this case that is before court, which was the same thing that I did when I came across accused 2.
Akusona ke inhloso yami ukuthi ke ngenze noma ke ngikhulume ke okude ke kodwa ngifuna nje ukuthi ngichaze ke lokho ukuthi ke njengoba ke umsolo wokuqala kuyena umuntu wokuqala owaboshwa ungathi ke elethwa kumina ke noma ke ngihlangana naye ke eFosters angimbuzanga ke ngoba wayeboshelwe icala leli elaphathelene nazo izidakamizwa angimbuzanga ngalo ngambuza ngaleli cala ngoba lelo lezidakamizwa lona ke owayelisesha noma ke waliphenya lelo cala kwakuyena uSergeant Mufula.
Now, warrant officer, sorry, not warrant officer, is a Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified here, and when crossed by my learned colleague Mr. Mgomezulu on this aspect, your presence when measurements were taken on accused 1 and on accused 2. Warrant officer Mangena, in respect to accused 2, at first, and I must be understood because somebody jumps up. At first, he said, you were present. Then after break, he came back and says, no, you were not present on the 17th when the measurements were taken by from accused number 2.
My Lord, I was not present, and I was not here when Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified, so it's a difficulty in assisting, except to say I was not present on the 17th.
Nkathi ke thulubufakazi bakhe ke Lieutenant Colonel Mangena washo ke ukuthi wawukhona ke nkathi ke wayokala yena ke umsola wesibili kodwa uma sesiphinde sibuya ke wakulungisa ke lokwathi cha wawungekho yebo ke ngangingekho futhi ke ngoba nzima ke ngoba ke ngangingekho uma ethulubufakazi bakhe ke uKolonel Mangena kodwa ngiyazo i17 ngangingekho lapho.
And he also put this rider to say, whenever I do my work, and he was referring to the taking of measurements from the respective accused persons. He says, whenever I'm doing my work, I'm in the presence of the investigating officer, but I'm putting it, that was after he now turned to say, you were not present.
My Lord, like I said, it will be difficult really to comment on what Lieutenant Colonel Mangena said. What I can tell the court is that I was not there. And like without repeating myself, if I was, I would have documented my interactions with accused 2, my Lord, because that was my interest. There was no way I was going to meet him and I questioned him about this matter and I do nothing. And then I shift it to the following day. It doesn't make sense to me for what purpose, my Lord, because my understanding of what transpired on the 17th, nothing is significant really. The rollout that led to the confession started, even the following of the alibi started really happening on the 18th when I was present, so I was not there, my Lord.
Njengoba ebeshilo ke kubufakazi bakhe uLieutenant Colonel Mangena ukuthi ngaso sonke isikhathi mangenza ke umsebenzi wami ke okuyena owumseshi noma ke ophenye icala uba khona kodwa ke wakulungisa ke lokwathi cha wongekho yebo ke uma kuukuthi ngangikhona ke lapho ngangeke ngivese nje ngidluliseke lokho ngangizobhala phansi noma ke ngangizobhala ke lokho ngikhulume naye ke uqala ke ukuthi ke ngihlangane naye kwakunge ngazo i18 ngikona ke lokho okwaholela ke kuyona i-confession le eyathathwayo.
I may add, my Lord, that Sergeant Mukhane was there. I know that on the 17th he was there and he's part of the investigation team.
Engakusho ukuthi uSergeant Mukhane wayekhona ke lapho ngazo i17 futhi ke uyingxenye yeteam belihola eliphenyayo.
Now we were at exhibit J, the descriptor of the dreadlocks hairstyle and the golden insert on the tooth of suspect B, and I asked you whether you followed that up.
Yes, I did. That's the part I wanted to go to, my Lord, when you said I'm saying on the
And then accused 2 on the 22nd of January, 22nd of June 2020, he was now appearing in the Kabale Magistrates Court for an unrelated matter, and after that he was taken to Dr. Choko, right?
That is correct, my Lord.
Manje ke ngazo i22 June 2020 ila khona ke ayobingelela imanje khona ke eThabane umsola wesibili kwase kuthi ke emuva kwalokho wayohlangana ke naye uDokotela Thabane
Dr. Chokwe.
Sorry.
Yes, I said that's correct, my lord.
Shilo ukuthi lokho kuyiqiniso futhi uma ibingelela ke imatch lapho bakuyicala ke langahlangene naleli.
And in essence, what was the purpose of taking accused number 2 to Dr. Tlokwe for an orthodontist examination?
It was precisely what I was trying to get to earlier, my lord. That second suspect was described as having a gold teeth incision, and I wanted to check if indeed that is the position or not.
Inhloso ke noma imbangela ke yokuthi ke asiwe ke na ke noma hanjiswe kuyena udokotela uXhokwe nanjengoba kwabeshilo ke abantu mabechaza ukuthi wesibini ke umsola wayenale zinyo ke legolide kwakubheka ke lokho noma uqinisekisa lokho.
But it was also because, my lord, in my observation on the upper teeth or some of the teeth.
My lord, I beg leave to approach accused number 2.
What's wrong?
He was raising his hand, my lord.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my lord. I mean, that's it. And what was the result of Dr. Tlokwe's examination of accused number 2?
My recollection, my lord, they could not find that he had a gold teeth incision which was removed, because in my observation as well, when I was talking to him, my lord, there's a gap on his teeth. I'm saying it with greatest respect, not an insult. So I suspected that perhaps something was there and removed. But the medical report, without quoting it word for word, I do know that the doctor could not find evidence that says he once held an incision or artificial or something that was removed at a later stage.
Umbiko ke wabuya ke uthi cha akukho okutholakalayo noma akutholayo udokotela uHlokwe ukuthi ke yakhishwa noma khona ke izinyo ukuthi elakhishwa ngoba ke uma ngikhuluma naye ke mina ke ngaqaphela ke ukuthi ke ngikusho lokho ngayo yonke inhlonipho ukuthi kwakunesikhala ke sikhona lokho kwangenza ukuthi ngisole ukuthi mhlambe ke kukhona kwase kukhishwa.
I now want to proceed to because we are busy with descriptions and identification by various witnesses of the persons that they saw that night. I want to go to the evidence of Ntabise Mokete. Do you recall who that witness is?
I know that, well, I was not in court when she testified, my lord, but I know that she's one of the ladies that was sitting opposite the crime scene with a friend. I know who she is based on the statement she made.
Ngokwaso ke istatement noma ngokubuka ke istatement ngiyazi ke ukuthi ke ubani noma umunye ke walabo ke ababehlezi ke ngale kwendawo yesigameko yena uNthabise Mokete.
And her testimony, I'm going to sum it up. She testified that she was in a vehicle outside Maggie Perry's house and diagonally opposite the Kumalo household. She was with a friend, Yolanda Nota, and she was seated directly behind the driver's seat where Yolanda Nota sat with her infant child. Right?
Yes, I'm listening, my lord.
Now, as they were sitting and chatting, they heard what sounded like a gunshot.
Yes, ma'am.
And they are seated there wondering and debating whether it's a gunshot, this one saying the other. she sees a tall person running past the car. She does not know where that person was running from. Right?
Yes, my lord.
Then she heard the second shot, and at that stage again, she saw two people running towards the same direction that the first person had run, and the direction which she described was they ran towards the park, in the direction of the park.
Yes, my lord, I'm listening.
And now they're saying, we are going to die in this car. We're hearing something that sounds like gunshots and we're sitting here, let's get out. As they are preparing to get out, they hear a third shot, and they are now exiting the car after the third shot. She hears Zandile Khumalo screaming her name and screaming that Ntabi saying, call the ambulance, Senzo has been shot.
I'm listening, my lord.
And they then, together with Zandile, go inside the Mapiri house, and everybody now is frantic. Zandile is saying to Mapiri, phone the ambulance, they can't phone, but the essence thereof is that Zandile leaves without an ambulance or emergency services being called.
Yes, I'm listening.
Now we fast forward, and I just want to go to the part where she describes the three gentlemen that she saw passing. And that will be found on the transcripts of the 26th of July 2023 at page 38. And she described the two men as follows: the one that passed after the second shot. One wasn't big in terms of physique and of average height with dreadlocks. The other was slightly bigger in physique. And then at page 48, line 18, she states, the very one with the bigger physique had a hoodie on his head and with a hat, as well as he was taller than the two that I had already referred to.
I'm listening, my lord.
Yes, that's the first descriptors of the people that she saw. The first one was tall, the one that ran first. She just described tall, dreadlocks running towards the park. My lord, let me pause here and just perhaps address the court. Earlier on during the trial, and I think Mr. Advocate Baloyi can back me up on this one, the court had asked for orientation purposes whether the photographs of the park were available. I've gone, my lord, and dug onto my disclosure, and indeed I have found the photographs. I think it's a scenic overview of the park, Zamo section, the house, the ashes, and that evidence. And I mean the album has been compiled by a Sergeant Triple B Mulumbi, I think. So I'm not sure whether we are going to introduce that evidence and how we're going to introduce it for orientation purposes, to see when people said they turned left and ran towards the park, and relative to the precinct and the streets around, what are we referring to for contextual purposes now? So I'll
You're asking Mr. Baloyi, what your colleague wants to know about that evidence, whether it's...
Well, the photo album is in the other docket, the 375. 1 of 2019.
375.
Yes,
What does it got to do with that other docket?
as far as I'm aware.
Because there was no mention
Yes,
of this thing.
yes, that's. It's really up to my learned friend how and how he wants to use the the photos.
Are they
But we are
in another docket?
Yes,
in other words,
they are in the.
they are not part of this docket.
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, man, I didn't even know where they emanated from in terms of because I only have got the album. It doesn't say which case
Yeah, fine.
number
So
that
this
it-
sergeant, where is he? Where does he live? Who took the photos? In other words,
It's Warrant Officer Mulumbi, I think,
where is he?
of the Springs LCRC.
Are you going to call him as a witness? Hello?
No, madam, I don't think so. I was just bringing it up because the court had previously
Yeah, I did
about
ask.
them, and it's never resolved, my lord.
Are you going to admit this evidence, Mr. Baloui?
Well, we for our purpose, my lord, we never deem it necessary to, to go that route. If my learned friend wants to canvass that, it's really up to him. But the
What's the
purpose-
law? What does the law say?
Yeah.
Because I'm told there are two dockets.
Yes.
And in these two dockets, seemingly, the charges are well apart.
Yes.
These gentlemen are charged with murder, attempted murder, robbery, possession of unlicensed firearm, ammunition, etc., etc. That other docket, people are charged with defeating the ends of justice, etc. I think you must address me on that.
Yes.
You don't think so? If you are not prepared, fine.
Yeah.
But here are people following two different avenues. And the fact is, these gentlemen here are not charged with the contents of the docket Mr. Ramosepele wants to introduce into the evidence. Is that not so, sir?
That's correct, my lord.
But I'm not stopping anybody. If you want to go and do some research about this point, you can do so and address me tomorrow. Or if you don't want to do that research, I will decide what to do with the evidence.
No, but the fact of the matter is the evidence in that docket were taken from a certain perspective to achieve a certain goal. Hence, my lord, we didn't even think of using those photos because, as we mentioned, they were taken with a certain goal in mind and to achieve a certain purpose.
Okay, I hear you. So what do you gentlemen want to do?
Well, if my learned friend wants to use them, he must just follow the normal rules of evidence. It's as simple as that.
Yes, sir.
My Lord, can I just stand in the photo album that Mr. Ramosepele wants to refer to, my Lord, forms part of the documents that have been disclosed by the state to the defense.
That has been?
Disclosed or furnished by the state to the defense.
But this is not what Mr. Baloui is saying. So you say the state was going to use it in this case, that photo album?
Yes, the court pleases, my Lord, because it was furnished to the defense.
Was it discovered? Wait, was it discovered in respect of case number 675/10/2014?
No, not in respect of this case. It's already on record, my lord, that there was a court order that docket 375 for 1 of 2019 be disclosed to the defense.
Yeah.
And that was when the contents of that docket were then disclosed to the defense.
And it was in the previous trial.
Yes, in the previous trial.
Yeah, I thought you guys said we must start de novo.
Yes.
He says it was in the previous trial before my brother Maumakwe.
My lord, yes, it was ordered in the previous trial. However, in this trial, my lord, it still forms part of.
Was it discovered in this trial?
Yes, my lord.
Is that so, sir?
Well, the fact of the matter is there was no rediscovery. All the statements that were discovered in the first trial were simply used again in the first trial. But the fact of the matter is when the defense requested disclosure of the docket, they were given 63610 of 2014. Then the trial commenced before Judge Momela, and an order was then made that the contents of the second docket 3751 of 2019 be discovered to the defense, and that's when the contents of the dockets were then disclosed at that point. So there were two separate discoveries, if one can put it that way.
Okay, is this gentleman still around, Mr. Ramosepele?
I haven't verified that.
Which police station is he attached to?
I think it's LCRC Springs as well.
What's LCRC?
Local Criminal Records Center.
Wait. Let me see. Wait.
Springs, my lord.
Springs.
Yes.
So why don't you phone and find out? Or you must call him and ask him if he's prepared to come to court. Or I can make an order that he must come if he's still alive. Because you want to introduce evidence which is not tested.
Yes, that's my concern, my lord.
Unless the state was saying, aye. So what do you want to do, sir?
My lord, I see it's approaching 3 o'clock. May I resume tomorrow because I was also affected by this cold front coming upstairs.
How big is the album?
It is less than 30 pages, my lord.
Less than 30?
Yeah, it's
How do we talk, sir? Are they 100?
They're not 100.
Less than 30?
They are less than 20.
Okay. Less than 20?
Yes.
Those photos?
Yes.
So you say you'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Why don't you do it together?
Yes, I'll speak to to Advocate Valoy, my lord.
Yeah.
So I will talk about it.
My lord, excuse me, can I just respond to what Mr. Ramsey, because the last part I just said I understood, but I never responded to that, the description of Ntabi Singh. I was just listening.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
okay,
finalize
fine.
that.
Yes, so we left it hanging.
So we can,
So that we can close it nicely.
Close that one and then, yeah. Okay,
tomorrow.
fine.
Yes. My lord, what I can say about the description given by Ntabi Singh, it is corroborated in the confession of Mr. Ramosepele's statement. Accused 2, in his own confession, says after the first shot was fired, he ran away. This is what the lady outside is saying, that he first saw the first person running away, a tall person. It is corroborated in that confession of Mr. Accused 2.
Kuloku ke okuchazwe uyena ke uMr. Ramosepele ekhuluma ngokuthi ke uNtabi Singh wabonani nanjengoba ebeshoke uNtabi Singh ukuthi babehlezi ngaphandle ke emotweni kwaqhuma isibhamu wabona umuntu omude ke ephuma ke kwasho saqhuma futhi ke isibhamu ke waphinda wabona ababili ke lokho ke nje okushiwo uyena uNtabi Singh yilokho futhi uma ufunda ke istatement sokugonyuluka sakhe umsolo wesibini asho ukuthi uma ngabe isibhamu siqhuma kokuqala waphuma yena wagijima lokho ke kuyahlangana nalokho okhulunywa uyena uNtabi Singh.
My lord, I recall that in his confession he further indicates that as he was running out, accused 4, because accused 3 was in the house, according to the confession, it's alleged, I'm referring to the confession, not his verbatim, that the third accused was still inside the house. Then as he was running out, accused 4 ran in. So in other words, they were now still 2, but he ran out.
Uyaqhubeka ke manje ngikhuluma ke into ekusona ke statement sakhe sokugonyuluka umsolo wesibili ngoba ke uma isibhamu siqhuma yena ke esephuma ebaleka umsolo wesibili usasele ke ngaphakathi umsolo wesithathu wase umsolo wesine ke engena ngaphakathi endlini.
And that will be a collaboration, my lord. That obviously there was the first one that ran away, and then the 2 would have followed afterwards, my lord.
Lokho ke manje kuyahlangana ke ukuthi ke kuno oqala ke ophumile egijima kwase kulandela ababili.
Yes, my lord. And the issue of the dreadlocks, I think it's self-explaining. Mr. Ramosepele did mention that one of the suspects, and that person with the suspect was seen on the second grouping. the second, in other words, the two suspects, one of them was having dreadlocks, and according to the confession of accused 2 is that he left the second suspect, which is alleged to be accused 3, with the dreadlocks. And I'm saying alleged, my lord, as per the statement, with dreadlocks in the house, and that person was seen with the second person running after the first suspect was seen. So there's a collaboration there, my lord.
Phinde futhi ke kuhlanganeke ukuthi manje ke uma eqhubeka ke esho ke yena ke umthaphiseki nonabo ukuthi manje uma sebona ababili ke kukhona ke onama dreadlocks, lokho ke futhi kuhlanganiseke naso istatement sokugonyuluka sakhe umsolo wesibili ke uyasho ukuthi wena waphuma ke wabaleka ushiya ke ngasemuva ke umsolo wenama dreadlocks, lo umsolo wakhe ezinsolo ezithi ke uyena ke umsolo wesithathu. Kuyahlangana ke nalokho ukuthi manje uma sekuphuma ke manje kubaleka kuphuma ababili omunye wabo unama dreadlocks.
Yes, my lord, that's what I wanted to respond to, Mr. Ramosepele.
Okay. And this is my parting shot before we take a break. I had earlier on said to you, Brigadier, relax, let me lead you, let the dog wag the tail, not the other way around. Because I'm still going, the purpose why I'm standing here, and I'm going structurally like this. I'm going to exhibit HH and JJ. I told you at the beginning. We are going to analyze those confessional statements to see whether there are markers of reliability or unreliability based on the totality of evidence.
Yeah, my lord, maybe for the sake of smooth running, when I touch base on something, Mr. Ramosepele can just indicate that I will get there. Then we'll understand each other, because I will not know when you ask a question whether you'll still visit that place or you've parked it. Like in this instance, we nearly adjourned without me responding. So that is the essence of it. So we can find a mechanism to work together. So you simply have to indicate, because like I said, my lord, my responses, as lengthy as they may seem, they are based on the questions that you are putting to me. You put a question and I need to answer it in its fullest context to assist the court, because we are here to assist the court. That is the purpose. But if you feel perhaps I'm ahead of where you're going, you can just indicate to say we'll get the break and I'll give you that space.
So tomorrow,
Ukuwena ke ukuthi ungitsheleke ukuthi uma ngabe ngiphendula ke ngiphendula into osezoyibuza ukuthi ungimiseke, ngoba uma ngiphendula noma kubukeka ungathi ke impendulo enginikeza ngazo zindeke, kodwa ngiphendula ngokombuzo lowo engubuzwayo.
yes, then we'll resume tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Jonas. My lord, may we then take an adjournment until tomorrow?
Okay, fine.
Is the court proceeding?
So are you going to address me, or are you going to just make an agreement between yourselves? Because I also want to prepare. I'm not the type of judge who comes to court blank.
Can you just get clarity on which aspect does the court want us to?
Whether the evidence which Mr. Ramosepele wants to introduce into this case is admissible. Unless, I know if you say you don't care, you don't object, it's admissible, because it means it's not disputed. Are you with me?
Yes, my lord. Mr. Ramosepele has just mentioned that we will try and see if we can't reach common ground. We'll just maybe give an indication to the court as to whether we did reach common ground or not.
That's all.
And then as to whether there's a need to prepare heads.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you, madam. Are you available, sir, tomorrow?
Yes, I am available, my lord.
Half a day.
The whole day, my lord. No, the whole day I'm available.
Okay. Then let's meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Isifake icala kuze kusasa ngo-10.